Welcome, friends. Welcome to Today's Reconsider It live stream. Best live stream you're gonna see all day. And here on this live stream, you are gonna get some very nice improvised live looping, all vocals. You're hearing the foundations of the beat right now that is all vocals. I'm going to be building up this beat more by your side over the next hour. We're going to bring in the synth as well. We might even get into talking about stuff. Who knows what you're going to get. It is called Tinker Time. My regulars know what it is. And speaking of my regulars, at this time we have got Laughing at plus and we have got If you are new to the Reconsider It live streams, welcome! You made the right decision joining us. We want you here. At this time, my friends, we are in a warm-up phase. We are just getting the blood flowing at this time. Getting ourselves situated and acclimated. And here in this warm-up phase, I need to celebrate. I need to celebrate you. Thank you for being here. Whether you are here with us live in the chat, whether you are here with us live but you are not in the chat, whether you are here with us after the live, you are watching on replay, however it is that you are here with us, thank you for being here. I am going to celebrate you at this time in this way. I have got my drink. I am going to count to 3 and I am going to clink. At that time, you are invited to join the rest of us as we cheers along and celebrate our togetherfulness. And it all begins on 1. And 1 is a good place to begin, but 2 that's an even better place to go. And then you get 2, 3, clank. Cheers, my friends. Man, that's good. That's really good. Please like this video. Please subscribe. Please share this video with a friend who would like it. Or in a place where it would be liked. Friends, we have got a Tinker stream on our hands. This is really good. This is just like the goodest. If you had like a bunch of things and you tried to rank them from not as much good up to goodest, this here would be beyond the goodest. It's just so goodest. It's the goodest among the goodest. It's the goodest. So good. I'm excited to begin a Tinker stream with you. And of course, where do I begin a Tinker stream? I will begin today by building up the percussion. Okay. Person is sharing some of his explorations into doing some beatbox and loop content, which is always a good thing to give blessing to. There's a lot of variety among live looping artists, beatbox live looping artists. So it's always interesting to see where someone goes with their style over however many months or years of finding your own unique way through these machines and like different features that you uniquely take advantage of most effectively. And your sense of composition and your sense of stacking. There's so much variety among beatbox loop artists. So Person is now in the ranks of beatbox loop artists, live looping artists. I believe Person does use a 505. Is that correct, Person? You're using a 505 MK2? You're using the MK2 version of the 505? Person says yes. It is indeed the MK2 505. Yeah. This is dope. It really is the one to do. Friends, I'm not sure if you're aware what a neologism is. Do you know what a neologism is? I believe it's spelled Neolo. neologism. You know what a neologism is? I'm going to show you a neologism right now. You're going to be like, wow, that is a good neologism. Person wins the first chat to be pinned to the screen award. Look at this word exactually. That has totally made my day. A neologism is a new word. Just making a new word, coining a new word. Exactually looks like it's two words put together, exactly and actually. So a neologism does not mean putting two words together. That's not what that is. It's just making a new word, the birth of a new word. A neologism is a new expression. And we have seen the birth of that term, exactually. That is awesome. I wonder if I'll have a place I can use that soon, just in my life. Hey, can you tell me some thing of some sort? And I'll be like, exactually, I can tell you to great precision, in fact. Person has more in the chat right now for following along, which you should be. You generally should be following the chat in order to get the full experience on all of the Reconsider It live streams. person says, as he's working on his 505 work of his own, he's going to start exploring reversed vocals and snares and things. Yeah, you should do that. That's a good move. See. Whoa. I see Warheart says, is this an unspoken stream? My regulars know what that means. Unspoken are my streams where I don't do any talking at all. So the answer is no, since I'm on the mic answering that question. There just hasn't been any big discussion going on. I haven't brought anything up for discussion. So there hasn't been a lot of talking. We could talk about something. We want to talk about. You want to talk about the weather? The weather, yeah. The way the temperature is, and wind and precipitation and things like that. We can talk about those things. Those are really good. Those are good things to talk about. We should talk about those things. Man, the temperature and the amount of sunlight. Whoo! We are very much making a good use of our intellectual faculties at this point. The weather. The weather, the weather, the weather, the weather. Do you need a coat? Person says, no man, the fact that I'm eating a bunch of saltines is just taking the vocal spotlight. You could be right about that. I am having quite a bit of saltines at the moment. And I was thinking about how good of a live stream snack, how good of a live stream snack they are. Except for the fact that it does elongate a period during which I'm not able to really talk effectively, or certainly do any kind of looping with, create new loops, that is, vocally. Moser says, "What a face!" What a face, says Moser. You talking about the face on my shirt? Is that what you're talking about? Presumably that's what you're talking about, the face on my shirt, right? That's what you're talking about. You're talking about the face on my shirt? Should I just assume that that's what you're indeed talking about? You're talking about the face on my shirt? That's what you mean? The shirt? Hey, is that what you're talking about? The face on my shirt? You were saying that the face on my shirt? Is that what you're talking about? The face on my shirt? The face on my shirt? Wow, what a face. Look at that. Look at that face on my shirt. Is that what you mean, the face on my shirt? You just mean like the face on my shirt that you're talking about? The face on my shirt? Is that what we're talking about? The face on my shirt? That's Denku. Denku is worth checking out if you're interested in some some rap, some grimy, very, very street sounding rap, like 90s boom bap type of stuff. Denku is worth checking out if you're into that kind of stuff. I used to play a ton of shows with Denku for a bunch of years. He was very good. He continues to be very good. He still plays a lot. Denku is, he's released, I can't even imagine how many albums he's released. It has to be at least like 20 or 30 albums. He called himself the Collab King for a while. I don't know if he's still doing that. The Collab King. I did a couple songs with him. He's on one of my albums. He's on, out of my stack of albums here. He's on this one. There you go. There you go. Closure by Conscious Object. This was my fusion hip-hop group where I was the rapper and Mr. Bombcamp was the producer. So we were a duo. Two of us, and we did a pretty good job. People liked our shows. We made 3 albums. One of them was an EP, so maybe 2.5 albums. I just listened to our first album the other day. I was pretty happy with it, actually. Oh, this is it. It was this one. This is the one I listened to the other day. Also Conscious Object. This one is called Sorcery. I was happy with that one. The last track is wild. The last track is, it's like the most experimental thing we did. Rabbit says, I never heard of Denku, but now I have to go check him out. He used to do tours. He probably still does tours. I see him play pretty often. He doesn't live too far. So he's often playing in my town. But he used to go on tours, book his own tours, obviously. Maybe not. Maybe that's not obvious, but booking his own. He's very skilled at all levels. He has the full stack of being an independent rapper. He has the business side. He has the skills. He's able to keep up with the times. He has the whole stack. And he's dope. He's very impressive. If you go see his live show, it's no joke. He's the real deal. One of the coolest things, there are two things that he does at his live shows that he's been doing for a few years now. That if you do have the chance to see him, like if you ever check out the dive bar scene, that's where you'd find him in your local, city of whatever size. He plays all sorts of sizes of cities. He'll play anything from, some very small dive bar in, some kind of small town, all the way up to, venues in Chicago and whatever. But if you ever see his name playing at a dive bar near you, that's going to be a good thing to check out. You'll have a good time. Like I said, there are two things that he does live that you would 100% be impressed by, for sure. And every time I see him, I continue to be impressed, even though I know he's going to do both of these things every show. When he does them, I'm like, oh yeah, he's doing that part of the show. And it's just, as I say this is what I mean when I say Denku's the real deal. He's the real, indie hip-hop artist. The real full stack of a guy. Anyway, the two things are as follows. He does some live beatboxing, but he doesn't use loopers like I do. He just does the real hardcore, steady hip-hop beat. And he does the singing and beatboxing at the same time. So it's really dope, like the speaking and the beatboxing at the same time. He does that. And he doesn't have just one, song, one trick, one routine. It seems like he's always got some new song that he's doing like that. So that's one thing that you would be like, oh man, is he really doing that? And the answer is yes. Yes, he is. It's very impressive. He started doing that not too long after I started doing my looper stuff. Because there's another guy that Denku and I both know named Carnage. I brought up Carnage a number of times. If you see Carnage in one of your local dive bars, you need to drop everything and go see Carnage's show. Carnage the Executioner. He's like the dopest mid-size venue live artist you're ever gonna see. Carnage the Executioner, he's dope. And Denku knows Carnage as well. And Carnage is beatboxing, live looping. And then after I was playing shows with Carnage for a number of years, I was like, oh man, I can't keep playing shows with this guy where he comes out with this beatbox looper stuff. Like, I gotta go start doing that. So I started doing the beatbox and looping. And Denku was like, I don't really want to get into that. That's Carnage's territory. But I was like, dude, do it. And he's good at it. He's very good at it. There's no joke. He's truly got the skill well polished. So that's something that Denku does live that you'll be impressed by, is the beatboxing just with a mic and nothing else, and rapping at the same time, or talking at the same time, or singing at the same time. The other thing that Denku does live, which is a good reason for you to go check him out if you ever see his live show. You're looking in your local, live show listing, your local area live music, what's happening. Denku would play any night of the week, so you just gotta look out for that. Anyway, the other thing he does, this continues to be very impressive. He's very, very good at freestyling. He's in fact, I think that's one of his strongest qualities as a rapper, as a hip hop artist. Like I said, he's good at every area. He's good at the business side. He's good at promotion, all of that. But one of the areas I think he's strongest is his freestyles. He could go on and 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 on forever, without diminishing at all. He is absolutely endless. And he'll come up with pretty, not simple stuff. And the thing he does that I was saying is really impressive, he does this at pretty much, every live show I've seen him do for probably over 5 years now, is he does freestyles. He always does that every show. But he has a segment. Usually he does this at the end. He has a segment where he says, all right, I'm gonna do an a cappella freestyle with 10 words that you give me. And so he just goes around the room and he points at people. He's like, hey, tell me a thing. Or sometimes what he does is he says, hold up an item of some sort, some kind of object or article of something, because it's like loud in the venue. He can't really hear them. So he's like, hold up. People held up their keys, or here's my shoe, or here's a, friggin' map, or whatever the hell. And so people just hold shit up, or they shout stuff out. Again, if he does it a cappella, he might be able to hear them. Anyway, so he collects 10 things. And usually they're, like I said, my keys or whatever. But sometimes somebody's like, elephant, I'm usually that guy at the venue. I'm like, electrical current. And he'll take whatever you give him. He's like, okay. He doesn't do any pushback at all on anything that anyone says. Whatever it is. So he takes 10 things. And he repeats them back in the order that everybody gave him. So that's already impressive like that. Everybody's shouting stuff out, and he goes back to the first one. Okay, so this and this and this and this. And then he gets to like the 5th thing. Okay, this and this and this and this and this. So he's just recounting all 10 of them back in order. And then he says, all right, let's do it. And he does the freestyle. And he doesn't just do them in whatever order. He uses all 10 of them in the order that the people gave them to him. Another level of very impressive. And then the most impressive part is that he then goes backwards. So while still doing the same freestyle that usually lasts at least 5 minutes, but generally will be longer than that, 5 to 10 minutes, he's doing this a cappella freestyle. And he does all 10 words in order, and then he does all 10 words in the reverse order. And it doesn't matter what you tell him. He's gonna do something smooth, and it's gonna fit and everything. And it's all with his signature style, this like grimy 90s boom bap. So if all that sounds appealing to you, you should check him out, Denku. Sorry, the camera, I'm trying to... There you go. Oh my goodness, this is such a fiasco. There we go. Denku. Te amo, Denku. And like I said, you can listen to my album. Closure by Conscious Object. Denku appears on a track on here. He actually appears with another really cool guy who... he doesn't rap as much anymore. He started getting into comedy. But the track that Denku appears on this album of mine, we also have a couple other people on that same track. This album has a lot of collaborations on it. We got like most of the prominent people who were in the local scene when at the time that we made this album. The people we used to play shows with all the time. So Denku is one of those people. Anyway, there's another guy on that track, another rapper on that track named Rambunctious. Often just call him Ram. Rambunctious. He's dope. Ram is so smooth. Ram was part of my crew. I don't have any CDs for my Outside Voices crew. Over there I do, back in the back. Outside Voices. This is our second album, Overture. Ram's the guy right over the E, over here. Oh man, ugh. Right on my finger right here. Oh my god, this is so, this right here, this Ram right there. Ram is really smooth. Ram did a lot of work with Denku. The two of them did a lot of work together. I'm not sure if they did any kind of duo together album, but Ram was just constantly all over Denku's stuff. They used to tour together, all of that. So Ram was on that song that Denku was on. Back on my album with Conscious Object. We also had DJ Pain 1. Do you know DJ Pain 1? He's a pretty well-established, world-famous producer in the hip-hop world. We got him on 3 tracks on this. He does scratching for us on this album. So he was on that track too, where we had Ram and Denku. We had Pain 1 do some scratching. Man, there's a lot of chat I need to get caught up on here. I'm glad Warheart brought that up. Of like, hey, are we talking or what? It's like, well, we can. Usually you let me know. Most of the time, at least most of the time so far, I treat talking as a response to what's going on in the chat. However, most recently, in the past couple of streams, past couple of weeks, I have started bringing topics up, and I plan to continue that. I plan to start building a few themes, a few common themes of conversation. One of them could be what I've shared in the past in my discussion streams, my professional expertise in speaking and coaching. That might be a theme, perhaps, question mark. But another theme is going to be some of the things that we talked about in the most recent streams, like whatever happened to individuality and not following mob mentality, influence, the topic of influence and persuasion and such like that. Those are things I'm going to bring up as well. Anyway, in the meanwhile, there's a lot going on in the chat that I have to get caught up on from mad minutes ago. I'm currently scrolling back. It went off the screen. Crazy Wabbit says, oh man, thinking back, the nostalgia when we used to get CDs, physical CDs. I know, man. We're the tail end of that. The tail end of that, I guess, generation of people who used to buy and listen to physical CDs. Also cassette tapes, yeah. I don't have a cassette tape player, but I do have a CD player in my car. So I can still listen to CDs. When it comes to live music shows, there are some people who buy CDs just like because they want it like as a piece of merch, not because they necessarily are going to listen to it. Some people buy from Bandcamp. I just had a couple of sales on Bandcamp like 2 weeks ago or something. I had a couple sales where somebody bought 2 of my albums and wanted me to sign him. I went and talked to my producer. He wanted the producer to sign him as well. So we did that. We signed him for him and I mailed it. But he bought it on Bandcamp. So what I imagine that guy's gonna do is listen to the MP3s that he downloads from Bandcamp. That's what you listen to. But the CDs are like a piece of memorabilia. And if you didn't realize this, this next tip is for artists who do have merch, or you play shows and you want to sell merch and such. I'm going to give you an insight right now. The insight is, like, what is the nature of merch? And by understanding this nature of merch, you can let this influence the way that you present it, the way that you sell it. So here it is. Like, what is it exactly that someone is buying when they buy a piece of merch? Here's what they're buying. They're buying some kind of tangible time with you. It's like sharing an experience together. That's what they want. They want some kind of little memorabilia that reminds them of the experience. So if you think about your merch not as like actually a, CD, actually a t-shirt or something. Think of it more as like, here's our way to connect together. Here's your way to keep connected with me, even though I can't be there with you. That's what merch is. It's like, you are this performer, you got stuff going on, you can't like literally be a part of your audience's lives. The merch is like a little piece of your soul, a little way that they can have you in their lives, even though you can't do it on the third dimension, on the three-dimensional space of matter made out of molecules and such. You can't do it there. But on this other level, on this like symbolic level, you can be with them. That's what they're buying. That's what merch is. They're buying being with you in some symbolic way. So when you talk about your merch and when you sell your merch, let that be somehow subtly part of the picture. Get your, reconsiderate socks, and you can always walk together fully, I see with us right now, of course, we got Chris and also we got All True. I see Wabbit says, going back to the topic of Denku is safe from AI. The answer is yes, he absolutely is. Actually, Al True, you probably know Denku, because he performs with Carnage all the time. Denku plays up at the Twin Cities, which is where Al True is. You've probably seen Denku. What else is happening in this chat here? I see there's a comment that says, person says, on YouTube, is it Denku God? I think the answer is yes. I guess I could double check. Let me look. The answer is no, that's not his page. His page is the full name here. The full name, Tayamo Denku. It's just at Tayamo, youtube.com/@Tayamo Denku, the whole thing. So that was a bit of discussion there about the Denku, and threw a little bit of Carnage in there. Some of my music I threw in there, a little discussion around all that. Making albums. Man. Is Wabbit still here? Wabbit made an album. Altru is making a reference to Carnage. I know Altru knows Carnage. That's where Altru originally discovered me, is that I played a show with Carnage, and she was there. She was at that show. You know, Altru has seen Carnage a bunch of times. Altru says you're going to get Carnage's DJ to meet you for your birthday, and you're going to do a dance battle. Are you serious? You're gonna go get some tacos? That's awesome. Piecemeal? You talk about Piecemeal? DJ Piecemeal? He's really cool. You know, there's a couple times that I played shows and Piecemeal was the DJ for the show. A couple times I came up and played with Carnage. Piecemeal was there. He was the DJ for the night. And, you know, not only is he technically proficient, you know, he does the job of the DJ. He knows what he's doing. So, like, he's already off to a good start like that. But also, you know, once in a while he'll do a little scratching or something. So he has a little bit of flair as well, not just doing the job. And also, he's a cool guy. Like, he's fun to be around. The last time I went up and played a show with Carnage, we also went out and got, I don't know, it might have been a taco place too. But I got, you know, lunch, dinner, middle of the afternoon with Carnage and Piecemeal. So he's a cool guy. He's generally part of the end of the show freestyles. So for anyone else who, if you're not familiar with Carnage, like Altru has seen Carnage a bunch of times. If you've not seen Carnage, what Carnage often does, I won't say he does this at every single show, but at least at a series that he ran called The Collaboratory, but also at other shows too, he does this. At the end of the show, he'll take on like a James Brown maestro kind of role, and Carnage will do on his beatbox stuff, on his looper, he'll put down a beat and like a bass line, and that's it. Or a beat, or just a drum beat and nothing else. And then all the other musicians who performed that night will get back on stage, and we'll all do this like giant freestyle for 25 minutes. And he'll generally have, you know, somebody who's playing guitar. That person will just play guitar for the whole thing. And, you know, when I'm there, I'll be playing my loopers with all sorts of different sound effects and, you know, crazy whatevers, or rap, or Carnage will rap, or, you know, and during those freestyle sessions at the end of the night, Piecemeal, DJ Piecemeal, he'll be doing some scratching on that. So I like Piecemeal. He's a cool guy. And he brings the skills. He's not just a cool person. He brings the skills. He is a quality DJ. Sounds like the breakdance competition is today, and Al True is going to be having tacos with Piecemeal. You should tell Piecemeal that I said hi. Let's send him a greeting from me. Let him know that you were watching my live stream. Tell him about my live streams. I don't know if he knows that I do these live streams. Last time I went up and I talked to him was a couple years ago. So he might not even know that I do these live streams. Saltines at this time. We are just on the same wavelength. This is amazing how on the same page we are. I'm continuously impressed by how on the same page we are. Now I'm being very careful not to get any crumbs in my keyboard. Inevitably, there's going to be some kind of dust, at least. Wabbit says, I am your cousin in Ritz crackers. I accept that. I accept that. Are you having them with like a little piece of cheddar on them or something? Wabbit says, yeah, I'm having some cheese and salami on my Ritz crackers. I don't think I even have any cheese in the house right now at all. I have some peanut butter. I might have some more crackers later with some peanut butter on them, because I do not have peanut butter readily available in the room here. But that's a good thing to put on saltines. I'd like to get some extra salt saltines. Because I like that. I accidentally got some no salt saltines like 2 or 3 weeks ago or something. And I'm like, all right. And I was like, wait a minute. There. Hold on. I look at the package, no salt, and I said, dang. And then I still ate it. Can you believe that? What a champ. What a very impressive model of ideal behavior. And then I got saltines with salt. And since that time, I've been thinking about, like, do they make saltines with extra salt? There's gotta be. There's gotta be at least some company out there that thought to make saltines now with double salt. Somebody has to have thought of that. I would purchase that with dollars. You know what else I would purchase with dollars? You know what I would pay extra for? And I am shocked. I am shocked that this does not exist. It astonishes me that this does not exist. At least to my knowledge. I mean, maybe this does exist and I don't know about it. If so, please tell me. But it is this. It is the ability when flying, when buying an airplane ticket, the ability to pay extra to be on a flight where little children are not allowed. And I don't mean this as any kind of like slight or, you know, like when you have a small child who might be crying and that's your life, it's like, what are you going to do? You got to go do this thing. You got to go to the grocery store and you got to take the kid with you and he's going to be crying. What do you want? That's fine. I'm not in any way diminishing that. I'm just saying that if I could get a flight where I would have that quiet, I would pay extra for that. And I know mad people would pay extra for that. It is bonkers to me that airlines don't offer this. Even if it's just like once in a while. Like it's not a frequently offered thing. Just occasionally you see that you can get a flight. Oh, this one, no screaming children. Yes. Click that one instead. It would of course need to be generalized. No screaming children or other sound disturbances. I gotta get caught up on the chat here. All True says, I tried eating saltines without peanut butter yesterday, and I kept falling asleep. Hey, you should have had the peanut butter. Peanut butter is known to energize you. You eat a little bit of peanut butter on a saltine, and you turn into like, you know, there's like a starburst, a yellow starburst of, you know, action behind you, and you have like big muscles and everything. That's what happens when you eat one saltine with peanut butter on it. By the way, I bring this up once in a while, and I'll bring it up again right now. That is that I challenge you, dear listener, I challenge you to the saltine challenge. The saltine challenge is eat 4 saltines in 60 seconds. 4 saltines with salt in 60 seconds. You can't have anything else. You can't have like water. You can't eat anything else. You certainly can't drink anything. Just 4 saltines in 60 seconds. That's the challenge. Wabbit says, hey man, saltines with peanut butter was the jam. That was sometimes dinner when I was a kid. Yeah, I'm not pushing back on that at all either. I'm with you on that. It's good. I like peanut butter in general. There's definitely been many times where peanut butter was my meal. Even voluntarily. All True says, not having salt on saltines is bananas. Yeah. Yeah, what are they, just eens? Wabbit says, I would rather eat paper than saltines without salt on them. It was a little weird. I also had a different... Normally when I get saltines, I just get the standard one. What is it, like Nabisco or something? I don't know. Whatever the brand is that you always see making saltines. I just normally just get those. And that's the one that I accidentally got the one without salt once. I caught like 2 or 3 weeks ago, whatever it was. But I did get a different brand of saltines like 2 or 3 months ago maybe. And I liked it, but at first it was different and I wasn't sure what to think of it. And I was like, different thing? This is not what I expect. It has to be what I expect. I need what I expect. I don't know how to function if I'm not getting what I expect. So I kept eating these saltines that were not what I expect. And the thing that was unusual about them is they didn't have the same crisp. They didn't have the same like snap that you'd expect of a saltine. They were a little bit, just the most slight, subtle bit softer. Just slightly chewier. They still were crispy, you still bite them, but it was very slight, a slightly different crisp. At first I was like, this is different. But then after I ate, you know, those 4 big sleeves, I started liking it. I kind of want to go get it again. I forget exactly which one it was, but I know where I got it. So I might go back to that store and see if they have it. Wabbit says, if you try the saltine brand Zesta, they may have an extra salt version. That's dope. Thank you for the tip. Wabbit also says, I would like to, speaking of plane tickets with no crying children, I would like to have YouTube streams with no crying adults. Or YouTube, the comment section. It didn't say stream necessarily. I read between the lines there, but that's not there. It doesn't say live stream. Wabbit says, can you record it? I assume that was when I was talking about the saltine challenge. Is that correct? You're talking about if I try to do 4 saltines in a minute, can I record it and then sample chop it up and then use the sounds? The answer is yes! That would be so awesome. Are you going to do that? That would be really, really cool. Wabbit, I think you just volunteered yourself to do that. Wabbit says, yes, that's what I was talking about. The saltine challenge. So the answer is yes, Wabbit. I hope you do that, because that would be really, really cool. Wabbit says, I only have Ritz. Yeah, that will sound different, because Ritz do have a different, I don't know, crispiness. They are different from saltines, but they still will make a sound if you don't put the whole thing in your mouth, but if you like bite it so that you can hear it on the microphone. Wabbit says, saltines for me are a trauma from childhood. Back when you had to eat saltines with just peanut butter. Yeah, I feel you on that. I like saltines, but I feel where you're coming from. That's a good example. You know, maybe this is a topic. That's a good example of the so-called 2 movies on one screen. Have you heard that term before? 2 movies on one screen, where it's just like an ordinary part of the world, an ordinary part of nature, and always has been. But a lot of people don't. This isn't really common knowledge, at least not in American culture or much of Western culture. But this idea of 2 movies on one screen, that the world, phenomena, things that happen, they don't really have meaning in them. This is, Buddhism 101. Things that happen in the world don't have meaning. Objects don't have meaning. Events don't have meaning. Things happen. You're not imagining that things happen. There is actually a world with phenomena going on that's really occurring. But it doesn't inherently mean anything. It's just stuff going on. At least on the 3rd dimension. That's the part that's left out of Buddhism. On the 3rd dimension, things don't have meaning. And that's by design, because that's what allows so many, 8 billion, that's what allows so many people to share the same space, the same dimension, but have completely different experiences and go through the journey of their soul that they need to go through. So, for example, we talk about saltines. We talk about saltines. And we have two perspectives here. It's the same saltine. I look at a saltine and I'm like, hooray, a saltine. This is a good thing. But Wabbit looks at the saltine. It's like, oh, that reminds me of, I don't like. So we both have this completely different experience, but it's the same objects in the three-dimensional space. The same matter, you know. Here's a bunch of molecules arranged in the shape of a saltine. Ta-da! That doesn't mean anything. We project our meaning onto it. But the thing itself doesn't carry meaning. It's like a blank canvas or a screen that we project our meaning onto. And so we can have two movies on one screen. We can have the saltine there, which doesn't inherently mean anything, doesn't mean good, doesn't mean bad. It doesn't mean a reminder of trauma. It doesn't mean tasty thing. It doesn't mean, hey, put some peanut butter on this. It doesn't mean anything. It's just a thing. But I walk around and I bring meaning to the degree that I am using this external thing. I'm using this thing I find in the world. Here's a saltine. I'm using it for something of mine. It plays a role for me, and it is through my assignment of a role to the thing that meaning is conjured. Now we see the difference in what happens with two movies on one screen. Because I come to the place and I'm like, yeah, hooray, a saltine. That's good for food. And so let me evaluate it in the framework of food. I like this. Good thing is that. But when Wabbit comes to the place and he says, hey man, a saltine, that gives me the opportunity to experience a different thing that my soul needs to experience. And it takes on this completely different meaning. It takes on a different role. It serves a different purpose. Two movies on one screen. The realization here is that this is constantly happening all the time with absolutely everything that happens forever, with all of your interactions and all of your personal experiences and everything. It's always the case all the time that you're having a completely unique experience that has no overlap at all with anyone else. A lot of people just think that they're having similar experiences to other people. And you might be to some degree, but not like the journey of your soul through eternity. Like, nobody's all the way with you on everything. Nobody's all the way with you on anything, really. You're just, to a small maybe I shouldn't say small, but to a limited degree, a fraction of overlap is what you share with other people in very limited domains. There's a finite list of the areas where you overlap with any other person. Ultimately, it's just you on your own journey, alone. And it's a little weird to me that that's not obvious to, it seems like to a lot of people. Of course, there are people that is obvious to, but to a lot of people, I don't know, this idea of, here's me and the people who see things like I see things, the people who agree with me about stuff. Here's me and my family, my community, my group of friends. We are like each other. That's weird to me. That's weird to me. There's only one thing that I understand in that sense, like a community of like-minded individuals. There's only one thing that I understand in that regard, and that is you. you who come here and do these very wonderful cheers every stream. This world needs a hero. Oh, and also, this world needs the heroes in the chat. Friends, as I look over, I see we've been going for about 2 hours. I thank you for being here and having a good time and being part of our community. The one community I do understand and I relate with and I want to be with, and that's you. Friends, let's do our closing cheers as we wrap up this stream here. Grab your drink. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this really fast on 1, 2. Yes. Clink. Cheers, my friends. Oh, man. I love connecting with you like this. Please like this video. Please subscribe. Please share this video with a friend who would like it. Or in a community where it would be welcome, such as a Discord or Facebook group or some such. I hope to see you again in the next live stream. My regulars know. We get together multiple times a week, every week, here at your favorite online hangout. We do the live looping and the synth man is so good. When we talk like this stream here, that's called Tinker Time. Sometimes we do the unspoken version, no talking at all, perfect for your instrumental needs. My regulars know that we have our scheduled streams each week. The ones you can expect. You can put these in your calendar. At the top of the screen right now. Eastern U.S. time zone. Sundays at 1 p.m. Tuesdays at 9 p.m. You can put those in your calendar. We get together every week at those times. My regulars know we also do a bunch of additional streams each week. Usually another 2 or 3 streams each week at unscheduled times. It could be any day, anytime. Enable notifications so that you can join us at these unscheduled streams. And until then, my friends, please have a very good rest of your day today. Please allow the rest of your day today to bring you all manner of goodness and blessing. Please allow the rest of your day today to expand your horizons, expand your sense of what is possible, what kind of blessings are possible for you to receive today. Please allow yourself to become receptive today to all of the goodness and blessing today that is within your perimeter today. Please allow yourself to become more receptive to receive all of the goodness and blessing that is within your horizon today. Please allow your full sense of what is possible today to expand today. Please enter into new levels of your own ability to heal and grow today. And I will see you in the next Reconsider It live stream.
Yeah.